get the opportunity, Google longsword, medium shield invasions on YouTube, because apparently there's people who figured out how to cheese pretty much anybody. A longsword and a shield can defeat anybody in the game, regardless of what their build is, because they're just so fast, and they can block, and they can parry, and they just got it all, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Speed really is important. Because it's just, yeah, it's a whole different field. If you have speed, you're good, really. I mean, you want to do some damage with your hits, but...
You got speed, then you're fast as fuck,
I mean,
boy!
the greatsword's great, though, because you can take out a mass amount of people. You know, with a greatsword, just battling through, it's boom, you're hitting 3 people at once. So having another person with you with the speed versus that's perfect for traps and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like a crackhead with Dark Souls right now. Finally.
Yeah, I know. Why weren't you doing this a month ago when we were playing?
Because, man, shit was frustrating.
It's always frustrating. You have to work through the pain.
Yeah,
Dark Souls is like anal. You have to learn to love it.
Listen, okay, I was too pissed at Dark Souls, and 3 it's much better than the first 2. But I feel like the original still has good weight to it. It's just when I played it, it didn't have...
You'd already played 3. You'd already tasted the cake with the icing, and you went back to eating the cake. And you're like, nah, I want the icing.
Yeah.
You kind of ruined it for yourself.
Jeez, I forget that I'm still invading. That's the only thing that's killing me right now is poison. Because I can't find anybody, and unfortunately I can't fight anything because I'm a red phantom, so...
Poison's a lot better in Dark Souls 3 than it was in Dark Souls 1. In Dark Souls 1, that shit will kill you.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that. I'm trying to think of this other one. You beat Demon Souls, didn't you?
I played it. I never beat it because my PC was down at the time, and it was just something to do.
Did you get to that one fight where you're fighting the giant in the cathedral, where you just have to, like, basically push a button? I forget what.
I fought the first one, which was the phalanx. With basically a whole bunch of blobs with shields. And then the second fight was this giant knight with a giant shield, a tower knight or something like that. And he had like a super spear, and you had to run around a room and kill all the archers, and you had to fight him by stabbing him in the ankles or something like that. And
did you ever get to the mines?
No, that was as far as I made it. I made it to that boss, and I fought him like 5 or 6 times. I was like, you know what, fuck this game. I'm sick of this shit.
Yeah, that sounds accurate.
I was pretty impatient at the time because I didn't have any strategy guides or no way to access the internet because my computer was gone. I mean, it was dark times.
Fuck.
Do you not have a phone?
No, this was before everybody had cell phones.
No.
Yes.
That wasn't a thing.
Yes.
Everybody's always had cell phones. There's babies born with cell phones in their mouths.
I was reading Reddit. Shut up about that shit. You fucking... That's some high shit you thought up. You just made that up. No.
I totally just made it up.
There was this thing...
There's silver spoons anymore. It's fucking cell phones.
Silver cell phones.
iPhones.
I was reading this thing on Reddit. This guy basically, he was talking about one of the worst situations he'd ever been in. He went to a party and he got just shit-faced drunk, and he hooked up with a girl because he woke up in her house, and he was like, well, I gotta get to work. So he went downstairs and he's like, well, my car isn't outside. He got dressed and he walked into the kitchen where Grandma, Grandpa, Mom, Dad, and 2 young sisters were all eating breakfast. And, of course, they looked at him like, there's a stranger in our house. And he was like, sorry to interrupt you guys, I gotta go. And he just walks out the door, and he leaves, and he goes walking around the neighborhood trying to figure out where his car is. And he's like, fuck, I don't know where my car is. I have no idea where I am. I've never heard of any of these streets. I'm in suburbia hell. But he didn't have his cell phone, because this was before cell phones. It's like 99, 98-ish. So he had to go back to the house where he just walked out of, and he knocked on the door, and they answered, and he was like, hey, can I use your phone? Because I need to call a friend. And they're in her room, like, cussing her out for having a one-nighter with some guy. And he called his friend to come pick him up. He's not even in the same town that he was in last night. She drove him from, like, one town to another. True story.
Yeah. It's fun waking up in places you have never been before.
You've never done that.
Oh, I've done it.
Oh, really?
Um,
Wolf, the professional man whore.